18 to 20 leads a week at the moment. In January, we were literally sitting there waiting for the phone to ring.
Well, James, just take a second to introduce yourself, your business, and what you do.
James Callaghan. I run a company called JC Entertainment and Events. We're a event management company and sound and lighting production company. Started on the central coast of New South Wales. We've recently expanded to Newcastle and Port Macquarie. So yeah, a bit of a niche market, a lot of different areas and different regions that we
Yeah,
need to target.
yeah, sick. What kind of situation were you in before you came to the With You program? Like, what was your main kind of motivation for reaching out?
I needed more leads. I was in a situation where probably got a bit complacent the back end of last year. I had a person on staff looking after our marketing, probably like our, let's say, our social media and our organic content that was going out. I had
Yeah,
then an agency as well that was looking after our paid ads and our Google ads. Come the start of the year, things weren't performing the way we wanted them to perform. It kind of put us in some serious trouble on
yeah,
a number of fronts because like we've grown pretty quickly, taken on a couple of acquisitions, and we found ourselves after the holidays with literally zero leads
yeah,
coming in through the door. So I had to make some changes pretty quickly, and at the time neither of those people were doing that
yeah,
as fast as I would like.
yeah, for sure. Did you when you did apply for the who enrolled you? Was it Tim or Melville? Tiff?
I think it was Melville,
Yeah,
to
yeah,
be honest. But like, I just like, I look, I've been watching your stuff for a long time. I actually think we crossed paths at the Entourage years ago,
yeah. I
actually.
probably did.
Yeah, so I'd seen your ads for like for ages.
Mm,
And obviously at the time I was getting frustrated. Like I knew bits and pieces, but I didn't know well enough.
mm-hmm.
But it wasn't until like when obviously things started going south, I was going to the agency going, why is this happening? Like, why don't I have a call to action on my ad? Like
Yeah,
things like
yeah,
that. Um, and so yeah, so to be honest, like it's typically like what you said. I binge watched all your stuff. I think you did the 2 hour live stream
yeah,
seminar where you obviously just give bits and pieces and then did
yeah.
the sell. And I was just like, I think the call with Melville was literally like 2 minutes. I was just like, tell me how much it is and, and what we do. And yeah, so it was like, yeah, um, it
Did you have
was.
did you have any hesitations before you bought? Like, what was the main thing kind of like help making you put it off?
Oh, to be honest, at the time, like I kind of, I was at the point where it was like, oh, I'll just get someone else to do it.
Yeah,
I didn't really, obviously, like the stage of business I'm getting to, I was learning that I need to let go of things and I kind of had handed it off to someone.
yeah,
So that's where the complacency piece came into it, where I was like, so it's all good and well to let stuff go, but if you're not sticking on top of it and sticking on top of your team and making sure that they're actually delivering a result, it's completely pointless.
yeah,
Um, and that's kind of what led me to that point where we had to make a move. So that's kind of
yeah,
why I moved when I did.
yeah, for sure. What kind of results did you get after the workshop?
So I did the live stream workshop literally 2 days after I enrolled, or I think it was a week after I enrolled.
Mm,
And oh, look, it probably took about a week or so, but we started to get really good traction on the Google ads, how the
yeah,
Google ads were built out.
yeah,
Um, and it's just grown from there. I mean, we fixed a whole lot of back end stuff too. Like we jumped on Go High Level just before I did the call with you guys. So it was kind of ironic that all your
yeah,
stuff runs through that, which was really
yeah,
cool.
yeah,
Um, so there was a lot of different marketing bolt-ons that I was working with and trying to sort out like landing pages and stuff like that. But yeah, I suppose the way we were setting up the Google Ads structure in the past compared to how you guys got us to set it up was extremely different.
hmm,
Um, and I don't know, like yeah, I was sort of doing a spray and pray before I went to the agency. And she's like, oh, we can look after it. And then we handed it over and like freaking it dived. Like we might not have been getting the right leads when I was spraying and praying, but I was getting more leads than
yeah,
what I was getting.
yeah,
Um, And, but yeah, and then obviously like a couple of tweaks. I think the really cool part was obviously I love how the advisory calls work. Like, obviously, you got all the workshops there. Like, we can jump in and learn stuff as we need to learn it. But the fact then that, like, if I had an issue with conversion tracking or whatever, we can jump on the call and get it sorted. And so having that support there was probably the biggest thing. Like, I've only used it 2 or 3 times, but uh,
Mm,
what I've been out, like, I haven't walked away from a call disappointed
yeah,
in
yeah,
from that
sick.
side of things,
Yeah,
um, which is cool. But yeah, now like we're like the last 30 days, we've had 54 leads uh, through at like $40 per conversion, and we were
yeah, sick.
getting like 150 dollars per lead.
Before,
Or zero at one point because we weren't getting leads at the start of the year. So,
yeah, right.
um, and that at the moment is purely for our Central Coast, Newcastle, Sydney branch.
Hmm. Yep.
So like literally in the last week, I've now just copy and pasted that whole thing and dropped it in Corey.
Yeah, sick. So how's the business looking now compared to where you were at the start of the year?
A lot better. Yeah, a lot better. Like, yeah, monthly order values are up. Obviously, with events like our forward pipeline is huge now.
Yeah,
Like, to be honest, like straight like alone off the Google ads, we've probably got about 150K worth of work sitting in the forward pipeline. And like even today, I was talking to one of my sales guys, and like one contact that came through Google has produced about 30K worth of work before the for us to deliver before the end of the year, locked in. So
that's
like
sick.
it's insane. So and then like the Facebook side of things too is going well. Like um yeah, we've just had way more impact with the
Yeah,
Google for that side. I think the
yeah.
like when we get our event management stuff tuned in, we're still working on that, but I think
Hmm.
that's where the Facebook side is going to come into it. But yeah, man, like it's just the Google stuff's off. I can't believe it. So
That's sick.
it's
If
something like
so,
18 leads, 18 to 20 leads a week at the moment. And in January, we were literally sitting there waiting for the phone to ring.
that's sick. If someone was on the fence about joining, like, kind of like you were in your shoes, like kind of just watching it for a while, like what would you say to them?
Yeah, just like don't waste the time. I think that's the biggest regret you have in business is obviously, I've made a lot of decisions that I look back on like, yeah, I probably shouldn't have done that, or
Yeah,
I wish I did this sooner.
yeah,
I don't want to even talk about how much money I've wasted on agencies. Like, and there's definitely a point where you need them, but for a lot of people, you don't. And I think
yeah,
the way that you guys break it down in the workshop, even being able to just watch the workshop recordings at 1.5 times, because obviously you do take the time to make sure that everyone
yeah,
understands the steps and everything.
yeah.
But yeah, all of that stuff is just really, really, really beneficial. I haven't had anything like it. I haven't seen anything like it. I haven't seen anything have the impact that you guys have.
That's sick. Thanks so much, James. I really appreciate it.
Well, good then.
Easy.